pay for it?
£100 on the 14th. You owe me £100. You pay me 20. Don't take money
I never borrowed that. You borrowed it. Oh, stop it!
Sake! Oh, look at you.
It's all right. I'll sort it out. I'll buy you a drink.
What was all that about then?
What else?
Go and fight somewhere else and get out of my room and don't come here again. Come on, Josh, let's get some ice on it.
We're out of ice.
Now you've been introduced to them, what do you think? Oh, something's going on, and I don't want them using my pub.
Cannibal straight. I only called in for a pint. You asked me to have a look at them. I have. Unless you've got any specific complaint to make, I mean...
Is that it?
Well, yes.
Aren't you going to press charges against them?
Against who?
Those two. Him and that girl, that's why I asked you to look them over. They're up to something. I don't want them using my pub as an office. I don't want them stealing my drink.
Oh, they're stealing it?
They're not paying for it. Not when Les is behind the bar. He doesn't charge them.
So they're not stealing it? I mean, all I saw was two lads about to have a go over a girl.
Her name is Annie as well. Same name, different style entirely. Something else is going on. That wasn't just an argument over some little slag.
Everything all right, is it? We've still got customers.
Why don't you go and serve them? I want to press charges.
Blimey.
Blimey? What?
Looking unusually rough. You don't mind me saying so?
It's a bit of undercoverage.
Oh?
Yeah. I got 4 of them, but the other 6 got away. I'm just going to put a bit of stake on it there.
That's what they do, is it?
Yeah.
You look awful. My God, you look awful.
Thank you.
You sound awful as well. Try not to do the top one, eh? Otherwise you'll need a bra.
It's on your lips, Sarge.
No. No, it's more than that. It's an accumulative effect. Don't go out looking like that. You'll set back community policing. Well, the front office have been on twice. There's a woman wanting to see you. She didn't give her name. She said she knows you. Don't spend all day with her. Right, I'll leave it to it. I'm off to the mortuary.
I wonder why you sounded so chirpy. DC lines.
Angela Mower.
Annie Mower.
Les. You still with Les?
Les is still with me, just about.
Tell Mr. Lyons that the lady who's come to see him is Mrs. Annie Mower, the renowned licensee of the Lord Duncan Hostelry in Thameside Avenue.
So who was borrowing money off who?
The big bloke, Kenny, was borrowing money off the other geezer, only Kenny didn't like the proposed repayment schemes. So, when you got stuck in, he was being persuaded to accept it.
How do you know that?
Well, I listened to them after you left. They had quite a laugh about him, actually. And then suddenly, you know, Tosh, it clicked. You see, it made sense of these people coming in, right? Me seeing them in the pool room, then them disappearing, and hardly ever buying a drink. Then I found this. Their little red book, the company accounts.
You found it, Annie?
Oh, took it, all right. Now, it lists all the poor gits they're into, right, and what they've got to pay back. Turn the page over. There, 3rd name down. What's that? Les. My Les. Well, there must be a stick or something you stand in because it's spelt with a Z anyway. So, he...
Oh, cheers.
There we go.
Thank you.
Tom it. All right.
Anyway, he started owing them £500, right? Well, that was 2 months ago. Now it's gone to £750. Well, according to that, he's already paid him 100. So the free drinks are just a bonus.
When did they start hanging about?
Well, I first remember them about 3 weeks ago.
So if Les took out a loan, say, a couple of months back, he must have met up with them somewhere else other than your pub.
I wouldn't know. Not really very often there. I mean, they could have come in, but I don't remember them till about 3 weeks ago. You know, Tosh, this is a thriving business. I mean, I've heard they even advertise. They've put a little card in the post office window.
Which post office?
Allenby Road. No. Mistake, Allenby Place.
So, what's Les said then?
He denied it. And then he said it was none of my business. And then he said he borrowed it on a friendly basis.
Well, couldn't he borrow the money?
Oh, he didn't ask me.
Why?
I don't know.
So you got no idea why he might want to borrow £500 from this couple?
No idea.
Or what he might want to spend the money on?
Look, I want this double act out of my pub, and Les won't ban him.
Look, if Les or nobody else will make a complaint, then we can't charge him with anything.
Well, then ask Les to make a complaint. Shake him up a bit.
And you won't mind about that?
I don't mind one little bit. Fact, it'd be a bonus.
What do you mean, nobbling these two or needling Les?
There's a nil Richard plumber, mainly drinking and theft, and one aggravated assault. Arrested in Chesterfield 3 months ago, currently bailed for return appearance at the Crown Court in 4 months' time. In charge of arson with intent. Another all-rounder in the tow rag league. What's this one been up to?
Possible loan shark. What are the conditions of bail?
To keep out of any licensed establishment that sells alcohol.
Oh, that's handy. If he is at it, I thought it'd be nice to get him for intimidation or menaces.
Easier said than done.
God knows the bank's at yard enough without these leechers putting it about. The way this is written, I'm going to have to take it to the British Museum to get it deciphered. Neil Plummer. Heard of him? Oh, he's written his name inside it, has he? Well, he's tried to, look at that. Still, it's worth a chance for me to check it out. Ponsford. He's borrowed £1,500. I bet you know what he's borrowed it for.
Who?
Gregory Ponsford. He's the burglar division nicked last year. One of Quidden's success stories.
Oh, he's borrowing it now, is he, instead of stealing it? Well, I suppose that's a step in the right direction.
Depends how you repay it.
It's a bit of a perfect setup, really. Not being the sort of thing you want to admit to your family.
Blackmail, that's what it is, Jim. It's always the same problem. No complaint, no conviction. And it's always a loan between friends.
Have you totaled any of these up?
I don't need to, do I?
Well, this Kenny you met last night, there's only one Kenny in here, and that's a Kenny Osborne. He borrowed £65. He's paying it back at an annual compound interest rate of...
You know the jargon, then?
Well, you're not the only one in it up to your neck. I just got a new car, remember?
Yeah.
He's paying it back at 1,000% a year. He'll have to borrow to pay back what he's borrowed.
Puts a new slant on High Street banking. Well, that's my car fixed till the MOT. Hey, what's the address of this Kenny Osborne? I'll drop you off.
I'm Mrs. Ponsford, PC Quinn Sun Hill. I'd like to have a word with your son, Gregory.
He isn't here, I'm afraid.
Have you any idea when he'll be back?
No.
Or is he back, Dave?
You look well.
Thanks.
Oh, it's you again, David. I didn't know it was you. You do look smart today. You look very well.
Yes, that's what Gregory said, yeah.
Well, you better come in and have a cup of tea. I don't want to leave one of Gregory's chums standing on the doorstep.
Thanks.
I've just made a fresh pot.
Lovely.
We've got some cake somewhere, eh, Mum?
I'll leave you two lads to it.
You told your mum we're chums, then?
The best.
Well, being a convicted thief with a nasty habit of violating other people's personal property, do you have to work at being so pleasant, Gregory?
You think I've been at it again?
Have you?
Saw you peeking around as we came in. Feel free to look about if that's what you came for.
I'll have your permission.
We could do the tour together, Dave. Together, let's crack it.
Now, you were involved in a set-to last night with a bloke calling himself Neil Plummer in a public house called the Lord Duncan. Now, what was the argument about?
Nothing.
No, it's all right, Mr. Osborne. Look, I only want to ask you a few questions. Now, I believe you borrowed some money from Mr. Plummer. £65, is that correct?
Yeah.
So you borrowed £65?
Yeah, only he wanted 100 back.
Is that what you're arguing about?
I didn't argue. I told him it was unfair, and he started pushing me about when I took his little book to have a look at it.
Now, when you said it was unfair, did he threaten you or anything like that?
No.
So he didn't threaten you to get the money out of you?
No.
Now, what about collateral?
What's that?
Well, it's something you could have given him to hang on to until you paid back what you borrowed.
I don't think so.
Now, how do you think he was going to get back the money you'd borrowed, Mr. Osborne? I mean, you're a big bloke.
He knows I'm afraid of him.
But wouldn't it be easier to get a loan from a building society or a bank?
I don't have any money to start one up.
No, I suppose not. How much do you get paid here?
£1.80 an hour.
Well, it's been nice talking to you, Mr. Osborne.
You must come and see Gregory again.
Well, I'm sure it won't be too long, Mrs. Ponsford. Thanks for the angel cake.
Thank you for eating it, Dave.
Well, goodbye then.
Goodbye.
You weren't very thorough, were you, Dave? Were you?
You borrowed a large one. That's not against the law. I'm asking if the people you borrowed it off are putting pressure on. That might be. Fair enough?
Oh, really? So that fat lip of yours has got nothing to do with you picking on my pub, then?
If I was picking on your pub, you'd know about it. How come on, does you know that?
Would you want the whole world knowing your business?
I'm not telling you, Les. You are.
Oh, so that's why you've been dropping in here, then? To spy on the little people? To observe the pygmies? You taking a file out on this place, then?
The thing is, I can't stop. Thieving's just a quick fix. Every time I get away with it, I tell myself I'm a winner. I've gone thieving mad, Dave. That's why I called you back. I want you to stop me.
Well, I'll try and stop you for a little while anyway. Where'd you steal the radio?
Probably one of the flats on Hadley Estate. I don't keep an inventory. It's marked up, so you shouldn't have any problem tracking it.
Where have you been getting rid of the gear?
I put it to auction through Diva and Co. The furniture people. Something like that I'd just flog. Or if it was no good, I'd just give it away.
You put it up for auction?
They only take 10%. It's cheaper than the unofficial channels. It also provided me with an air of legitimacy, if you understand me. And that is very important for someone like me, who's a thief in denial.
Your social worker says you paid off the fine for the last lot all in one go. Is this how you got the money?
I already had some of it.
How much?
500. I just don't like fines hanging over me, you see. I wanted to get it out of the way, so I paid it off in one.
Well, the fine was £2,000. Is this how you got the rest?
I'll get convicted for 3 break-ins, with another 17 taken into consideration, which I freely offered up. I'll get 2 years suspended and 2,000 quid fine. Now, I'm a thief. The magistrate said so, didn't she? And at the time, I willingly admitted it. Now, how do they expect me to pay it?
So you went back into business to pay off the fine for the last lot?
No, not technically. I borrowed the 1,500. I had to start up again to pay it back.
Sierra, Oscar from 3-4 are receiving over.
Thieving's become a compulsion. Sometimes I don't want to, but I have to. To tell you the truth, I'm at an all-time low.
Hello, speak to me 340.
Can I have a car at...
I stole this angel cake. And here I am eating it. Eating my own rock bottom. Oh, there's a thought, Dave. If you'd have had a slice, you could have pulled yourself in for receiving stolen property.
Were you ever threatened or intimidated? Did Plummer ever put any pressure on you to pay the extra money he was asking?
I'll confess to as many burglaries as I can remember. And a few more, if it'll help you polish your clear-up rate. I mean, after the trouble I've put the public to. I owe you that. But don't ask me to put anyone else in it. No matter how much I don't like them.
Did Plummer know that you was thieving to pay him back?
You'll have to ask him. They must have done. I mean, they know what to do. Did. Still do.
How do you mean they?
I gave the girl a tease maid. Shouldn't have said that. Oh, she must have known it was nicked. He had the ID on the bottom of it.
Is it OK to charge you now?
Yeah, thanks for waiting.
It's increased the pleasure. Come on.
Twice in 6 months. This is going to look like favouritism, Dave.
At least it'll raise our clear-up rate. You found that number?
Yeah. It was disengaged. Now, obviously, they're not interested in the kind of business that advert was attracting anymore. Maybe they're going up in the world.
From the sewer up to the gutter. What about Kenny? Any complaints there?
No. I found out where he worked from his brother. Now, Kenny's been reintegrated. Put back into society's swing of things after 4 months in hospital for depression. Now, poor Kenny's one of the world's bewildered.
Now, Ponsford said he gave the girl a stolen tease maid. I mean, I know it sounds unlikely, but if we can get hold of it, perhaps we could do on a handling charge. It might scare her a bit.
Nah, not on Ponsford's word. It'd be a waste of time.
Yeah. Besides, these people need a greater scare than 10 minutes question time. If they walk out of here, they'll be cocky enough to hike up the interest rate by a couple 100%. Oh, it's just a pity we couldn't have pulled him on something more substantial.
How do you mean?
Look, Plummer's on bail for arson with intent. Just by being in the Duncan means he's in breach of it.
Oh, anything else I should know about?
I'd rather have got him on that one once we pulled him on the loan sharking. I'm just not looking forward to pulling someone in a pub where I was drinking the night before.
Leslie, I'll have a double scotch, please, mate. Darling?
Brandy, please.
We're going to pull, darling.
Yeah, right.
Cheers, Les.
I want an umbrella.
Neil Richard Plummer, you're under arrest for a breach of bail. You should be drinking.
Oh, yeah? I'd stay where I was if I was you. I mean, you don't want to slip again and get the rest of your head all puffed up, do you?
I don't like that, sunshine.
Oh, do, don't you?
Arson with intent. You're going to be nice until your trial comes up. And we've got 3 of your debtors who prefer to swear that you threatened them.
Oh, then you might as well just dump me in Alaska.
You don't think any of them would, do you? Well, how would we have known where to find you? Ask yourself that. Unless one of them should have paid you off, decided not to, and came to us and told us all about you instead.
Oh, you mean it had nothing to do with what happened last night? I mean, you didn't feel slighted or anything? I mean, some people, you know, a jury type of thing, might get the idea you was putting it about a bit because of that. What's that? Is that my copy of the Police and Criminal Evidence Act you're meant to give me if I ask you for it? Right, I'll have one of them, thank you.
Your request has been noted.
So give it to the duty solicitor on his way in.
This is your handwriting, or an attempt at it.
So charge me with illiteracy. It has been known.
You're going to be charged with extortion, and a few other things.
Not on. That book is my property. I even put my name in it. Now, I'd hardly do that, would I? It contains a list of people, a list of friends that I've loaned money to. I had to borrow myself to lend it to them. Do you know why I lent them that money? Because I'm a very nice person. I care about people. I've a good heart.
Come in.
The duty solicitor.
Yeah. Couldn't lend us a fag, could you?